this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Get It Right Texoma with the trio, Mike Hendren, Terry McAdams, Trey Serralla. Glad to be back with you once again, everyone. Welcome to the show. We are here with a mission, and that is to entertain and inform you. We try to focus on local events around Texoma. We do throw in some regional and state and national stuff from time to time.
And occasionally international. Very rarely, but we're actually going to have a little international today.
Yeah, we are. As a matter of fact, I'm working towards intergalactic.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where I'm headed for. And we can just get a Martian on here, you know. But anyway, that's what we do here. And it's brought to you by Eddie Hills Fun Cycles, 401 North Scott, downtown Wichita Falls since 1966. EddieHillsFunCycles.com, the website. MacTech Solutions, 4020 Ray Road, Suite 3B, Wichita Falls, Texas. MacTech-Solutions.com. And Lolly and Pop's Sweet Shop, LPSweet.com, the website, and on Facebook as well. Lolly, it's Lollie, and Pop's Sweet Shop on Facebook. So, a few things happening here.
No, nothing's happening. There's never anything, especially in Wichita Falls.
There's always stuff happening in Wichita Falls. Yeah.
By the way, shocker, and I'm just going to come to shock, it's hot outside.
Oh. Yeah.
Summer is here.
It's hotter than the hubs of hell.
And by the way, y'all, we go through this every single year.
Yeah. That's what I think is funny when people fall apart. It's hot outside. Yeah, no shit. It's summertime in North Texas.
It's hot every year this time.
That's right, yeah. So
it's never not hot.
Yeah.
Just occasionally.
I'd be worried about it if it was in the 60s.
Yeah, yes.
I'd think that something's
global cooling.
Yeah.
Be looking
Volcano.
around for the asteroid.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got the Fallstown Summer Jam coming up July 20th, 701 Austin, downtown Wichita Falls. 211 Country, is that the name of a band?
No, from 2 to 11.
Oh, from 2 to 11.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a new.
Some of these bands and names are so weird.
You just don't know. No, it's from 2 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
Okay, the event itself is from 2 to 11.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So they'll have country, rock and roll, hip hop.
I have to learn his encoding method here.
Yeah.
You're my shorthand there.
Okay.
I should have, my bad on that. I should have put event time. But 2 to 11, they're going to have country bands, rock and roll bands, and hip hop bands.
Okay.
So it's going to be Terry McAdams and the Homeboys are going to be the hip hop band.
I think there you go. And we should just go ahead and start a country band and call it 2 to 11.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, Kevin Fowler is going to be performing at the Warehouse Friday, July 26th, 8 o'clock, benefiting the Wichita Falls Area Community Foundation's Volunteer Fire Department funds. This is a fundraiser.
And that's Kevin Fowler's a big get.
It's a big catch, in fact, for them. And that should bring in some good crowds and some good donations, some good money. So that'll be Kevin.
And I think it's a lot of volunteer fire departments. I mean,
I think
it helps a lot of, I think it's like 24 counties or something like that. It helps a lot of people there.
Yeah. So that'll be great. And then there's a little gun show coming up. Not so little, actually, show coming up. July 27th and 28th, that'll be at the Multipurpose Event Center. I'm guessing, again, in the Ray Clymer Exhibit Hall, where it usually is. July 27th and 28th, that'll be a Saturday and Sunday.
And what was one of Tom White's famous lines? There's a lot more than guns at a gun show.
Yes, there are. There typically is, anyway. So.
Yeah, there's guns, knives, ammunition, hunting supplies, but not only that, they have arts and crafts and some food vendors and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a gun show, there's one coming up end of July. So
and it'll still be hot, by the way. It'll be inside.
We're just getting started, man.
Yeah, at least the air will work.
Yeah,
they've done a good job with air conditioning there.
Yes, they have.
AC better work. That's all I got to say.
They got that right.
All of you are familiar with Stonehenge.
Been there a couple times, actually.
I was going to say you've personally visited it, and it's a how many hundreds of years old or thousands of years old?
And it's very interesting how I don't go into a whole thing about it, but those stones were put there by some ancient culture, probably the Celts or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're arranged in a certain way, and the rocks that are around there's no rocks like that around there. It's a wide open plain, so those rocks came from a long way and that sort of deal.
They were imported.
Yes, they were.
Yes, before trucks.
Yeah.
Well, some protesters took it upon themselves to spray orange paint on the Stonehenge stones.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is just outright vandalism, period. There's no other way to look at it. It's vandalism. And this kind of crap has been happening. Well, we saw it happen here in the United States with various statues and monuments and things of prominence, over the last 4, 5, 6 years particularly.
People.
So is that it?
Yeah, you can see. Yeah. Look, it's
nuts.
This is where I am on this. There's got to be consequences for these people.
There needs to be.
And the problem is there's not. I am all for protesting. I honestly believe if you want to peacefully protest, you have an issue. It doesn't matter if I agree with your issue or don't agree with your issue.
Sure.
If you want to peacefully protest and stay out of people's way. Yeah. But the two things are when you start vandalizing stuff, and by the way, this does belong to people. It belongs to the British taxpayers. Yeah. But if you vandalize private property or public property that belongs to the taxpayer, or if you impede people's motion, at some point, can we start kicking the crap out of these people? I mean, it's one of those deals where you can't. There's certain things. It just doesn't seem like anything's getting done. It doesn't seem like law enforcement's able to handle it. And there's no consequences. These people, they sit and they spit on law enforcement. They spit on people. And they scream at people. It's okay to take words are one thing, but you start physically attacking people, or you start painting and defacing things, and you start impeding people's way people go. I think that you ought to have a couple of free shots, and you start knocking some of these idiots out, and this shit will stop. These people are not badasses. Yeah. They're not MMA fighters that are out there trying to do this. These are nerds that have no life and nothing better to do. I mean, you're in the middle of the day, and so why aren't you at work? But at some point, if about 3 or 4 British citizens got up there and just beat the snot out of these, I'm not talking about killing them, but just pot knots on the head there, the next time they'd think twice about this shit.
I'm telling you, I think if somebody did this to my property, they'd probably get to watch their teeth roll away like chiclets, because I'm just...
Look, I'm not for violence, but at some point, how much of this crap do you have to put up with? And that's kind of what I get at.
To enforce the law. I mean, these people are, if they continue to do something and law enforcement's there, if they're there. But I mean, in this case, they probably did it.
But unfortunately,
but if law enforcement won't do something, why can't you step in? We need to have some sort of legislative bill goes. If you stand there and go, Mr. Cop, are you going to do it? Nope. Fine, I'll take care of it.
Well, and you can't have cops guarding everything 24/7.
No. That's the thing.
Right. You can't have a police presence at every monument, at every prominent thing 24/7, and this is not exactly...
Especially here, because this is... I mean, you've been there, right? Yeah. So this is not a protected... There's no fence or...
No, you walk up to... you walk up to it, and it's not like... And it's also... It's not like you can run up to it and do it. I mean, you have to walk out, go through, go in, walk up on this hill. It's up kind of on a hill and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... But what I'm saying is if there was a dozen people that were visiting this thing and they see these idiots and they go, hey, let's just, teach them a lesson. Then the next time you have some idiots that go like that, hey, we might get the hell kicked out of us.
We might have to think twice about this.
Yeah, it was done during the day. It says about 12
you can see
o'clock British Standard Time, I guess, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So
all I'm simply saying is at some point we got to push back on people.
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, there was
enough is enough.
In the last year or so, maybe in the last a little longer than that, but there was a protest going on, and these guys were laying down in the middle of the street, impeding traffic and all this. And the law enforcement, I think it was a county sheriff, wherever, I can't remember where it was. They just were driving through and over their different barriers.
It was on Indian land. He was an Indian tribe law enforcement officer.
Okay, he said, I'm done.
Yeah, he's not putting up with it anymore. But you've also seen this in places where people just get out of their cars and start dragging people out.
Yeah,
that's fine. But at some point, there have to be consequences for people. Right. And once again, this is America, and England's not America, but they do allow they have a fairly open society like we do as far as protesting. You have to allow people to protest. You have to allow people to say their mind. I'm all for that. You have to allow that. But when you start attacking people physically, you start impeding people's movement, and you start damaging property, that is when something needs to happen. Yeah. And at some point, if law enforcement can't handle it, why can't citizens need to take over? And by the way, these are what consequences. What life has to have consequences.
Yeah. Most things in life do. Of some sort. But most bad things in life, there's some consequence for it.
You know, back in the days when everybody walked around with a gun in the Wild West, or even go back into more medieval times when everybody had a 3-foot sharpened steel blade on their side, a sword, there wasn't a whole lot of muggings.
No.
Yeah.
Because there could be a consequence to mug somebody.
Typically, guys like us don't get mugged too often.
No, but I mean, yeah.
We look like somebody that probably is.
It's one of those deals. Are you going to take the chance?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So, but the problem is you allow these people to prey on the weak, and I don't like that. That's when you're preying on the weak, then you're not doing the right thing. This goes back to it's immoral.
Well, that's what most punks do. You know, they seek out the weakest, most vulnerable people to victimize because they know they're not likely to fight back or not likely to have the means to fight back.
Right.
And that's why they do that.
Yeah.
A little closer to home, Margie's, I get Marjory. Margie's Bakery and Deli here in Wichita Falls. Been around since the early 1970s. Been around a long time. And they made a little bit of a national splash. They made some cookies that incorporated the MAGA acronym, M-A-G-A. And the internet trolls exploded.
Yeah.
Immediately. And went after them. And it got a little ugly.
Apparently it got very ugly.
You know, it did get very ugly.
When did this go down? Let's see.
Just like a week or so ago?
Within the last week.
So what was happening, apparently, I just read a couple of stories on this thing. You had internet trolls that had never been to Wichita Falls, didn't know where Wichita Falls, couldn't point on a map.
Nope.
They jumped on there and started blasting the bakery
yes.
and how horrible the bakery was and how bad the service was and how crappy the food was and all this sort of stuff. And not only that, apparently got some of the employees' names and addresses and stuff and started sending threatening emails to the employees and stuff like that.
Oh, dear God.
So the Texoma family sprang into action and said, hold my beer, and jumped back online and started
pushing back
and counteracting this. But to me, it's once again, I go back to why aren't you working? Why aren't you having a job when you have time to go in there just because somebody they disagree with you politically and you have time to sit there and blast them. And also you're lying because you're saying they have horrible food, they have horrible this. Well, if you've never been there, you don't know.
You have no way of knowing.
Yeah. By the way, same company made Pride, like rainbow cookies earlier in the month. 0 problems. No complaints from anybody.
Nobody said a word.
No complaints. So you just have a group of internet trolls out there who are going to pick and choose their causes, and they go after them. But it really apparently got pretty nasty for these people.
Well, it looks like they probably pulled down their reviews because that's what happens is they'll hit the reviews and they've pulled those down because that's what kind of sucks about it is that people can just influence the reviews.
Which stinks because you can't prove that you were there.
Right.
You know, we all have to deal with it in business, but when you have people that jump on you like this, it's once again, it's a bunch of losers that have nothing else to do.
Well,
and oh, by the way, Marjorie's Bakery is doing fine because there have been people that support them. There have been people who've been coming in from out of town and buying cookies almost just as a, once again, here we'll show you.
That's their form of counter protest.
If you hadn't made a big deal in the first place, probably nothing would have happened. There would have been a few local people that bought them.
Yep.
And moved on.
Yeah. So really all they did was make them some more money, actually.
Well, hey, that's good.
Good for them.
Hooters in Wichita Falls closed their doors permanently on Sunday. 40 locations across the nation closed. 6 in Texas alone closed, by the way. And Hooters issued a statement. They said, like many restaurants under pressure from current market conditions, Hooters has made the difficult decision to close a select number of underperforming stores.
Yeah.
With new Hooters restaurants opening domestically and internationally, new Hooters frozen products launching at grocery stores, and the Hooters footprint expanding into new markets, with both the company and the franchise locations. Go support some local restaurants. Yes.
My whole thing was great.
Yep.
Good luck. Leave.
Yes.
Good to know you. Get out of here. You have mediocre wings, by the way. Your food, honestly, Hooters is mediocre. Yeah. And I think the novelty of the what they call the breastraunt, and they were one of the ones that started the restaurant industry. Yes. I think the novelty of that shit's worn off.
It has. Yeah. It has.
And people are tired of it. And so as far as I'm concerned is, goodbye. Sorry that you have some local employees that lost their job, but hopefully if you're a local employee, you can go to work at another restaurant or something else. And just go spend your money somewhere else.
Well, hey, question for you guys. Y'all been here all your life.
Yes.
So P2 has a similar environment or not? I mean, they have the girls.
No,
or not.
But here's the thing, though.
It's a bar.
Hooters.
It's a bar. It's a bar and grill.
Yeah.
They do serve food there, but no, they don't ever have girls in the tight. They don't have a uniform type thing.
Right.
Well, no, but not a uniform. But they seem to dress similarly.
Well, they might, but here's the difference.
I don't think it's required.
Here's the difference.
Oh, well,
Hooters' concept originally was based on the whole concept centered around the attractive 19, 20, 21-year-old college-age girl in the skimpy outfit.
Yeah.
Right.
That was part of their draw, and that was a novelty type thing that worked for many years. Mm-hmm. Now I think, though, if you want to win in the restaurant business, you got to win on quality food.
Right, because
you got to win on quality service. You got to win on value. You got to show. And when I say value, I don't necessarily mean cheap food.
No, you mean value.
But the experience. It's people want the experience and whatever it is. And I think there were so many other things that came up in that world, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You have Bone Daddies, and you got
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, so a lot of these others, and they were the original, but sometimes they get displaced.
But I think overall,
I also think that whole market is kind of guys are. I think I don't know. I don't know if guys are just not quite as dumb or whatever. He's kind of like going, I don't know.
Well, it's almost.
I always found the food mediocre. I never went to a Hooters here. I'm just saying that Hooters is Hooters, and I've been to a couple in my life, and I never was that impressed with their food.
I was there 3 times, and
locally,
and was not impressed.
I've been there a couple times.
I'd never been to the one locally.
Yeah,
not impressed.
So here's something a little bit of, and I don't know if y'all know the answer to this. I do. I researched it. Okay. But how is it that, and if I don't know if you knew this, you or myself, any guy will go apply, and you can't become a server. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me. Okay, now I'm just drawing on something I knew from Vegas.
Yeah.
That you have, that I know in Vegas, they have entertainers that serve.
There you go. They're entertainers first.
Yeah.
And so because of that, because entertainment, clearly you're filling a role.
Yes.
And so because of that, then
you could have size issues and that
But
sort
I
of thing.
think that also opens up the employer for the union. And I don't know if they're unionized or not, but I'm just saying that because the
Terry.
What?
Be honest. Would you want to see me in that tank?
Well, no, that's a different story. That's a whole different thing. But they were taking the court.
There's some internet pictures of me out there. Yeah. when I was a Hooters girl.
They were.
That'll make you want to vomit your food up. Yeah. No, but no, that's what they're called, and I knew they did that in Vegas. You're an entertainer that serves, and that way they can whatever discriminate your
based
size
on a role.
They can't discriminate your gender. I'm sorry, your race. They can't discriminate based on race, but they can discriminate on size, and all that.
Well, but see now, let me ask this then. Okay, so in a movie they can.
I don't believe they can.
Yes, they need to make a true to life movie. then they need a black female or a black male or a Hispanic or a white or a whatever. They can. I think they can.
They might be able to, and I don't know if the movie business is different.
We can look it up, but I'm pretty sure because that wouldn't make sense.
But I don't think in that
have
restaurant.
to.
I don't think Hooters could get away with saying we're not going to have any.
You are right. I'm not sure.
Hispanic girls or
no.
Any white girls or any whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
they
think
have to open it up because the role doesn't require it.
Yeah, right.
Whereas a role in a movie that's true to life.
Well, right. If you're playing George Washington, you can't have
a black George Washington.
Yeah,
that might
exactly.
Work.
Yeah. A 24-year-old Asian man probably would not be the right actor to cast in that role.
Right. Yeah,
perhaps.
exactly.
I'm just
guessing.
Just guessing.
But anyway, it was just interesting, and I was often wondering. I was wondering about that, and I remember there was a lawsuit against Hooters, and they had claimed that we're doing the entertainment thing.
Yeah, we're entertainers.
And we're entertainers, and so they fill a role, and therefore they can. And,
I will
and they
say
have to be pretty, and in their opinion, and all of that. Kind of stuff.
They closed underperforming stores, and there are markets where they're going to do just fine. There are markets where they've got the population and the volume of business that they can kind of absorb some of the bad times. But when you're in a market like this, the size of Wichita Falls and the economy being what it is, and one of the things that's happening here right now, and I think you're going to see, I think most of the local eateries will be fine. Again, as long as you're delivering on quality food, quality service, value, all that, as long as you're delivering on all those things, you should be fine. But a lot of the national brands, you got Hooters, you've heard some of the stuff, Olive Garden. Olive Garden, their CEO came out last week and said that because sales were down, they're raising prices again. Yeah, hell, that'll get them in the door. Yeah. Let's make it more expensive to eat here.
Did you know that Olive Garden was a contrived not a franchise, but a contrived nationwide store. In other words, a lot of stores, they start as one little mom and pop store. Yeah. Somebody starts it and then it kind of grows and stuff
McDonald's.
Like that. No, it was contrived by like General Mills or somebody like that. Yeah. That was contrived to be a nationwide Italian restaurant. Chain store.
Let me talk about that on that. Just recently, about a couple of weeks ago, Lucy and I went and had lunch, and maybe you've already mentioned this, but Luigi's.
Oh yeah, I love Luigi's.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
I have to say, my favorite pizza in town.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't had their pizza, but I had their spaghetti, and here's where it just drew me in is when they give you a little bread rolls or whatever. It's really good. And so then, but I got the Alfredo sauce.
Oh, the Alfredo's really good. You can tell it's
I
not
can't go back to Olive Garden. I mean, I can't. I liked Olive Garden. I do like it. It's okay.
I've never liked Olive Garden. But I mean, it's okay. It's one of those deals. I will go to Olive Garden if I have a group of friends that are going to Olive Garden. But
it's acceptable.
You would never hear me if my wife ever said, "Hey, where do you want to go eat?" The word Olive Garden never come out of my mouth. But no, Luigi's is actually one of my favorite places.
Well, and Luigi's has a sister restaurant called Genova's. Same family owns it. It's in Burt Burnett.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And same, basically the same menu.
Okay.
Now, Luigi's, though, I don't know if they still make it or not because I haven't gotten one there in a while. But they had a giant pizza. Mm-hmm. It was huge. Secretariat couldn't jump over this pizza. Yeah. It was so stinking big.
Secretary wasn't a show jumper, but it's okay.
Hey, we need to do. Y'all have an inn at the restaurant?
Luigi's? I know Mario pretty well. So, I know.
I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
Let's talk about it later. I've already been, my wheels have been spinning this whole time. But let me tell you the hot setup on the pizza.
Okay.
Go to the pizza, and this is actually, I can't say that I invented it, but I'm the first one that said to do this, and they did it, and now I have several people I know that go get pizzas this way. Instead of the pizza sauce is pretty good, but get you a pizza and get olive oil, garlic, and basil as a base instead of the pizza sauce. It's unreal. Yeah, I get a Supreme with extra pepperoni, olive oil, garlic, and basil, and you can eat on that for about 3 days.
Yeah.
Well,
and it warms up in the air fryer. By the way, another pro tip for warming up almost anything, but especially pizza. If you get an air fryer instead of a microwave, warm it up microwave, it's soggy. air fryer, it crisps it up, and it's like it's brand new again.
Oh, yeah. I agree 100%.
This episode of Food Network is brought to you anyway.
So, anyway.
And trust me, when a fat guy tells you, it gives you a pro tip on cooking, you ought to listen.
You should listen to it. Yeah.
What's the old, there used to be a restaurant out of Lawton, and I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but the guy he'd go, and just remember, don't you trust those skinny cooks.
Yeah, I like it.
By the way, real quickly, one of the most uncomfortable times I've ever spent with my family was at one of these restaurants that we didn't know. My wife's from England, and there's one of these places, and I've seen them in the Metroplex, and it's Highlander or it's something like that, but it says authentic Irish pub.
Okay.
So my oldest daughter and my son and my wife and I were coming back from they were in high school. We're coming back from an A&M visit when they were going to go to A&M. And my wife said, "Oh, I wonder if they have true Scottish or Irish foods." I don't know. Let's go in there. So we go in there and sit down, and then all of a sudden, a skimpily clad young lady is standing right here trying to take the order, and she's flirting the whole time. It was a very uncomfortable meal. It was not fun.
We went to Bone Daddy's once, Lucy and I. And Lucy was not comfortable with the situation. She was, I don't want to say offended, but she was like, wait a minute. I don't want belly button fuzz from a 13-year-old in my meal. And we left. So she was not, it was like she
those aren't really family restaurants.
No. We didn't know.
I didn't either. That's the thing. I went to Bone Daddy's once and didn't realize that as well. So, it's just to understand, if it's a restaurant, that's what you're going to get.
It didn't dawn on me till sometime after I had already learned about Twin Peaks, what that meant.
Well, that one I kind of figured out right with that.
A little naive. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one was kind of an obvious.
After you understand what, you got to have context.
So anyhow, the
I thought
point
it was
is,
like after the movie or the TV show.
The point is,
in that twin. No.
Go support your local restaurants. I mean, there's plenty of really good local restaurants in town. And go support them.
Yes, there was in fact a TV show called Twin Peaks.
Yeah, there was.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, there was.
Somehow related.
The Wichita Falls YMCA's got a new tradition called YMCA Field Day. The inaugural event turns Sputter Park on Smith Street into a party for all ages. As it was this past Saturday morning. They had bounce houses and vendors, and they felt like it was a great success. They plan on making this an annual event.
Look for it next year.
Yeah, and I think they're going to go around different parks as well.
Yeah.
What they're trying to do is just the YMCA is trying to promote themselves in the community a little bit more and saying, hey, we're part of the community. And
so kind of tour of the city.
When y'all were in elementary school, did they have field day?
Yes.
Okay.
They still do
that?
Yeah, well, okay. When my kids were in elementary school, they did.
Okay, good. Because, man, that was, you get the ribbon. And you didn't just get a participatory ribbon either. You had the place.
Yeah, you could win, place, or show.
There you go.
Yeah. But, this is a really neat thing. I'm glad that YMCA is getting more involved in some community things like this. And Sputter Park is really a classic park that one time there was a baseball team. There was a Wichita Falls minor league baseball team that played at Sputter Park.
Yep. Oh. Yep, sure was.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a lot of things going on.
Well, now, is that when y'all were kids or
no,
that was way before our time.
Yeah, this is a long time.
Yeah.
This was back when baseball was a big deal.
And
there was
traveling and all.
There was a lot of towns around about the size of Wichita Falls that had minor league teams. Yeah. And weren't they called the Wichita Falls Sputters?
I believe they were called the Sputters, and they had quite a good record too, several years there.
Yeah.
And they were, I want to say there were a couple of major league names that came out of the Sputters, maybe as, I don't know necessarily as players, but maybe as coaching staff or something.
Yeah.
I seem to recall a story about that.
No, they were
from way back
right here in
when.
Wichita Falls, right here.
Let's see, Wichita Falls Sputters, the Sputters.
And played its last game in 1957.
Yeah.
They were based in Wichita Falls. First Sputters team ran from 1920 to 32, and then played in the Texas League and affiliated the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Chicago. Well, we got to read on. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Sputter. So now, they did name it after, I guess they named it after Sputter Park, or maybe they named Sputter Park after it.
I think Sputter Park came after it.
It might have, but I'm glad that they didn't name the first hockey team in town after the place where they're going to play hockey, there was a famous local television personality that when they were talking about naming the first hockey team, and they played at the Impact, he threw it out there. They should be the Impactors.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And after we're done, I'll tell you who it was, and you'll go, yeah, I get it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and he said that live on TV in Wichita.
He said it.
Yes,
Okay.
he said it live on TV in Wichita Falls.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
So anyhow, I think that's great that the YMCA is getting out. I think this is a great idea. Anytime you can put yourself out in the community, especially because YMCA is a community organization, and going around and doing these field days will be great. It's just good for getting people out and that sort of thing. So
all right.
probably ought to wrap it up about there. And then
Yeah, as we will. I
think the next topic is going to take a while. So
yeah, that next one's probably going to take a while to develop, and so we'll save it for the next trip around the sun or the moon or whatever it is we do here. I don't know. We do. At least we're not circling the drain yet.
Yeah, there you go.
So we got that going for us. Anyway, thank you for joining us for this episode of Get It Right Texoma, brought to you again by Eddie Hills Fun Cycles, 401 North Scott, downtown Wichita Falls, EddieHillsFunCycles.com.
For all your power sports needs, and it's since 1966.
And mowers.
And Hustler Mowers, too. Hustler Zero-Turn
Zero-turn
mowers.
mowers.
Yes. They're just lovely. And then MacTech Solutions, located 4020 Ray Road here in Wichita Falls. MacTech-Solutions.com, the website, and also Lolly and Pop's Sweet Shop, Lolly and Pop's Sweet Shop on Facebook, or lpsweet.com is the website. You can go there as well. We would love to bring you some cookies or a chocolate meringue pie or a pecan pie.
But you need to take care of us first.
I know. I got to bring some more stuff in.
The cookies are great, and like I said, the best thing that I get the jumbo cookies. Because the small cookies are great, but if you're gonna save them and put them in the freezer, the jumbo cookies thaw better. So get the jumbo cookies, cut them in half, and a half a cookie is a really good serving for one of those cookies. So get the jumbo cookies, cut them in half. I did, and by the way, I paid for them. It's not like I got freebies. I didn't mind paying for them because they were damn sure well worth the price.
Delicious.
That's right.
All right, guys, thank you again for joining us. Be sure and like our Facebook page. Get It Right. Texoma on Facebook. Share it with your friends. And we want your feedback. We'd love to hear from you, hear what you think about the show, what you think about us. Do you like the hat? Do you not like the hat? What do you think? Anyway, until next time, guys.
By the way, when is this show? I need to look at our schedule and see when this drops. But we need to go ahead and mention it. We check us out Saturday or this weekend. The debate is happening, and we're going to do a post-debate show. We're going to do a special show, and I think this show may drop right before.
Yes.
I can't remember now.
Drop Friday, but anyhow, keep an eye out for that. If this show drops before then, keep an eye out for that. We'll do a special debate recap show.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
Well, and don't forget the website.
Get it right. Get it right.
Texoma.com.
There you go.
Let's share that. It's sort of the place to go to about the podcast. And all the episodes are there, and all the links to all the different players and different platforms and everything. So it's there, and there's a little bit of information about us. Yes. Although somebody I know over here hasn't gotten their picture and their bio up there, but that's all right.
Hey, I did as told.
Yeah.
I don't follow directions worth it.
I didn't want Terry coming after me. Yeah. Remember we talked about consequences earlier?
There you go.
I didn't want the wrath of McAdams.
Right here. I like my consequences. All right, guys. Have a great weekday, year, whatever. We'll see you next time. Take care. We'll see you down the road.